You are listening to Practical and Woo by Mindset and Manifest. My name is Eden, and I invite you to embark on a journey with me to explore the practical and spiritual edges of the unknown for the purpose of allowing you to embody and empower yourself uniquely as you are and to intentionally create and live a life of freedom and fulfillment. Each week, I am going to discuss topics such as energetics, reality creation, manifestation, astrology, tarot, and more to help empower you to live beyond perceived limitations and to practically design your life so it feels like absolute magic every step of the way. Let's dive in. Well, hello, brilliant soul. In the same light of last week's episode, I have recently happened upon a story that I want to share with you. This is a story of finding the purpose and perfection of imperfection. As always, you are invited to ingest this story-based episode with an open heart, to take and to alchemize what resonates, and to leave the rest. Let's dive in. In a quaint village nestled at the foot of rolling hills, there lived a humble water bearer. Every morning, he would rise with the sun, gather his 2 pots, and make his way to the nearby stream. With each step, the rhythmic sound of his wooden staff echoed in the stillness of the dawn, a reminder of his daily ritual, a ritual that was as much a part of his life as the very water he carried. The water bearer was a simple man, kind-hearted and diligent, known by all of his unwavering commitment to his task. And it was not only his dedication to his purpose that defined him, it was also the magic pots in which he carried 2 unique vessels. One of the bearer's pots was perfect, a beautifully crafted piece, smooth and shining. The other was cracked, its surface marred by a jagged fissure that ran from the rim to the base. As the water bearer set off each morning, he engaged both pots in their purpose, filling them both to the brim, balancing them across a sturdy yoke placed upon his shoulders. The pristine pot held its water beautifully, never spilling a drop. But the fractured pot would leak along the way, dribbling precious water onto the ground with each step the water bearer took. By the time he reached his destination, only half the amount of water was left within its vessel, while the perfect pot delivered its full measure each and every time. At first, the fractured vessel felt broken and ashamed of its flaw. It resented its inability to fulfill its purpose completely. It felt completely different than its twin. Each day, as they walked the familiar path, the fractured pot would listen to the praise the water bearer received for the other pot. "Look how useful it is," the villagers would say. "What a marvel." The fractured pot sighed, thinking to itself, "I am not worthy, I am not capable. I am a failure." One day, as the water bearer made his way towards his destination, he noticed the fractured pot's somber demeanor. Instead of the usual cheerfulness that accompanied their journey, the fractured pot remained silent, its thoughts ruminating with disappointment. Concerned, the water bearer gently uttered, "Dear sweet pot, why do you seem so sad? You carry water with me every day, bringing nourishment to my family and those in need." The fractured pot responded with a heavy heart, "I can't help but to feel broken. While the perfect pot always fulfills its purpose, I am always leaking and wasting water. I am a failure, and I wish I could be like your other pot." The water bearer smiled softly, understanding the fractured pot's pain. "Ah, but you do not see the beauty in your flaw. You do not realize that your imperfection brings life and nourishment to the world in a way that the perfect pot cannot." Intrigued, the fractured pot listened closely as the water bearer continued. Every day, as we walk along this path, you drip water onto the ground. But have you noticed the flowers that bloom beside our trail? The fractured pot pondered for a moment, recalling the vibrant blossoms that danced expressively in the breeze. Yes, I've seen them, it replied. But what does that have to do with me? The water bearer's eyes sparkled with wisdom. Those flowers thrive on the very water you spill. They grow and blossom because of you, my dear pot. You may feel flawed, but your crack is not a defect. It's your gift. Your journey nourishes life, creating beauty where there was none before. The fractured pot felt a shift within. As it reflected on the water bearer's words, it began to see its world differently. Instead of viewing its fracture as a source of shame, it started to embrace it as a unique part of its identity, one that made a difference to the world through purpose. From that day on, each drop of water that was lain by the fractured pot became a reminder of the life it nurtured along its path. The vibrant flowers that blossomed in the sunlight became its allies, a testament to the power of imperfection. Over time, the villagers began to notice the colorful blooms lining the water bearer's path. They would often stop to admire the flowers, marveling at their vibrant hues and delicate petals. Unbeknownst to them, the fractured pot was the unsung hero behind this beauty, providing sustenance that led to this flourishing life. As seasons changed and years went by, the water bearer and his two pots continued their daily journey. The fractured pot growing older and wiser, carrying not only water, but also stories of resilience, beauty, and acceptance. Its heart swelled with self-celebration, understanding that its perceived flaw was a vital part of the intricate tapestry of life. One day, as the water bearer was walking along the path, he heard the familiar voices of villagers praising the flowers. They expressed gratitude for the beauty they brought to the village, marveling at how they seemed to bloom even in the harshest of conditions. The water bearer smiled, knowing that it was the fractured pot's leaks that had given life to those very flowers. The pot, now full of wisdom and self-acceptance, felt a deep sense of fulfillment. It understood that its purpose was not to be perfect, but to contribute to something greater than itself. This story of the fractured pot serves as a powerful analogy for our lives. As we explored last week, it is so common for us to strive for perfection, believing that our flaws and mistakes define our worth. Like the fractured pot, we may feel inadequate, especially when we compare ourselves to or compete with others who appear to have it all sorted out. It's fundamental to recognize that your seeming imperfections are, in actuality, sources of your strength, contributing also to the purpose, connection, and beauty that you have to give to the world. Just as the fractured pot nourished the flowers along its path, your shadows and struggles contribute to the richness of your experience, providing you with the fodder to acquire the tools needed to become who you know in your soul you are capable of becoming. When we embrace our authentic selves, including our flaws, we create space for growth and transformation. Rather than trying to fix ourselves, we can shift our focus to acceptance, allowing our unique qualities to shine through. This journey towards self-acceptance requires patience, compassion, and the willingness to see ourselves as we truly are, whole, complete, and powerful. Mistakes are nothing except for opportunities for growth. And turning your mind towards this perspective is one of the most incredible gifts that you can give to yourself. When you allow yourself to learn from your mistakes, you cultivate your resilience and wisdom. By recognizing that mistakes are an integral part of the human experience, you can embrace the lessons they offer. Just as the fractured pot provided sustenance to the flowers on the path, your growing edges serve a purpose, nurturing your own growth and simultaneously inspiring the growth of others. This tale teaches that it's not about erasing flaws, but embracing them. Our fractures and flaws are not deficiencies. They are pathways to connection, growth, and authenticity. By nurturing acceptance and celebrating your unique qualities, you can find beauty in the very aspect of yourself that you turn away from. All of those shadowy parts that you may have previously viewed as imperfection. Embrace your authenticity. Allow your imperfections to shine in the gifts that they really are, and recognize the profound impact you do have on the world around you. Thank you for joining me today in this exploration of self-acceptance and the beauty of imperfection. If this story resonates with you, I encourage you to share it and discuss it with someone who may benefit from its message. Remember, you are a unique and beautiful tapestry woven from the threads of all of your experience. Embrace your journey and let your authenticity illuminate your path forward. Until next time.